Alabama just landed a future star at edge with Tyler Younger. What's going on, everybody? Justin Riley here with the Bama Standard Network. And I had to say this because Alabama fans are going to do what Alabama fans do. Everyone is focused on whether or not Alabama might lose Mitchell Turner to Ole Miss. That's the conversation. That's what everybody wants to talk about. But what if I told you Alabama may have just landed one of the most intriguing defensive prospects in the entire 2027 class? Get down the comment section below because I got to hear from you. Also, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Three-star edge rusher Tyler Younger has committed to Alabama. And honestly, I think some people are sleeping on just how big of a pickup this is. Now, before somebody jumps into the comments and starts talking about star rankings, let me stop you right there. Because if you follow recruiting long enough, you know Alabama has made a living identifying traits before everybody else catches on. And Tyler Younger has traits, lots of them. This is a 6'5", 230-pound edge rusher from Greater Atlanta Christian School in Georgia. But here's what makes him fascinating. He's relatively new to the position. Tyler Younger didn't grow up playing edge rusher. What? Wait, what? He started at wide receiver. Think about that for a second. Wide receiver. Then he kept growing. Eventually, he moved to outside linebacker. Then he kept growing some more. So now he's selling in as an edge rusher. The reason I love that progression is because he never lost the athleticism that made him a wide receiver in the first place. A lot of guys move to edge because they're big. Tyler Younger moved to edge because he became big. There's a difference in that. You're talking about an athlete who developed into this frame rather than somebody who was simply born with it. And when you turn on what film is available, that's exactly what you see. Now, I know some people will say there isn't a lot to evaluate because he's still learning the position. Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that, folks. But sometimes what you're evaluating isn't production. Sometimes you're evaluating traits, and the traits are absolutely there. The first thing that jumps off the screen is his length. The young man has a ridiculous 6'10.5" wingspan. That's elite for an edge rusher. When you're trying to keep offensive tackles off your chest, disrupting throwing lanes, shed blocks, or finish plays in the backfield, the wingspan matters a lot. But here's what really caught my attention. No movement is wasted. Everything he does feels calculated. He doesn't over pursue. He doesn't fly out of control trying to make a big highlight play. He waits. He diagnoses. He's like a predator stalking prey. Then when he sees his opportunity, boom, he explodes. And when he goes, he goes. You can see him shoot through gaps and close space in a hurry. You can see him manipulate offensive linemen despite still being relatively new to the position. And honestly, that's the scary part. He's not supposed to be this advanced yet. This is a player learning the nuances of edge play. Yet he's already shown an ability to avoid getting trapped in traffic, come off blocks cleanly, and make plays in the backfield. Imagine what he looks like after a couple of years with Alabama's strength and conditioning staff. That's where the upside becomes exciting. Now, let's talk about why Alabama was able to close his recruitment. We interrupt this awesomeness that you are no doubt enjoying to talk about our big sponsor, Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks application. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy sports platform distinctly separate from sports betting. This app is really easy to use. Pick more or less on a few players' stats to create a lineup. Player picks, pick stats for individual players, points, yards, strikeouts, all those good things. Team picks, pick the winner, spread, and total on any major game. It's available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Sign up for Prize Picks with the code HMA and get $50 in lineups instantly when you play your first $5 plus lineup. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Now back to this video. Tyler Younger really emerged as a serious Alabama target after an impressive camp performance earlier this month. The Crimson Tide saw enough. Christian Robinson extended an offer on June 14th, and from that point forward, Alabama became a major player. But what stood out to me were Younger's comments about Coach C-Rob, Christian Robinson. Listen to what he said. I think Coach C-Rob is a great coach. When I came to the camp, he was teaching me certain things I can improve on and showing me certain things that he said I did well. That's important because recruiting is always about selling a logo. Sometimes it's about showing a recruit exactly how you can help him become the best version of himself. And apparently Christian Robinson did exactly that. Younger also talked about seeing the way players interacted with Robinson throughout the building. Every interaction was positive. Every relationship looked genuine. That matters. Relationships matter. Players notice that stuff. Recruits notice that stuff. And Alabama's player development reputation clearly resonated with him. But the biggest thing Alabama did, they showed him exactly how he fits. According to Younger, Alabama explained how his skill set fits within the defensive scheme. That kind of clarity is huge for a developmental prospect. He's transitioning into a new position. He's still growing as a player. So hearing exactly how you'll be used can make all the difference. And let's not overlook the role Alabama's players played either. Younger talked about spending time with Justin Hill and interacting with other Alabama players throughout the visit. The message was consistent. This is a place players develop. This is a place where relationships matter. I heard that somewhere before. So while everybody is worried about who Alabama might lose, I'm looking at who Alabama just gained, because Tyler Younger feels like the kind of prospect that recruiting departments love. Maybe he isn't the highest rated player today. Maybe he's still learning the position. But when you combine elite length, athleticism, positional versatility, intelligence, effort, and upside, that's a recipe that usually turns into something special. Will it take time? Absolutely. So that means be patient. He's developing. He's still growing in this position, but that's okay, because Alabama isn't recruiting him for what he is today. They're recruiting him for what he can become. Play that back. And if that development happens the way many believe it can, this commitment could end up being one of the steals of the entire 2027 recruiting cycle. Let me know what you think in the comments, folks. Are Alabama fans overlooking Tyler Younger because they're too focused on Mitchell Turner? Now, how high do you think Younger's ceiling really is? If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bama Standard Network, and as always, roll Tide.